Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Tylord, and I am finally back again with Let's Play World of Warcraft Project Ascension. This is episode 11, and we are starting off here in the Scarlet Raven Tavern here in Darkshire in Duskwood. We have one quest I actually, off-screen before I was starting this episode, let me just go ahead and turn this in, the Seasoned Wolf Kebabs. We can pick that up, and he's going to give us, a handful of the Seasoned Wolf Kebabs. So that's nice. They will give us a well-fed, giving us +6 stam and spirit, so that's always nice to have. Off screen, right before I started this episode, I was actually in Stormwind. Since I hit 28 last episode, that's always every even level. There's a chance that you can go to any of the class trainers and try and learn up new ranks for spells. So let's see here. I got a new rank for Arcane Intellect, a new rank for Mind Blast and Mind Flay, and so on and so forth. Min Pet, just for example. So I was in Stormwind, and you actually need to be in Stormwind to complete that quest, the Seasoned Wolf Kebabs, because you need to pick up some Stormwind seasoning herbs from a random NPC in the Canal District. So I was there, did that off screen, and we just turned it in. Now I'm going to head on out, and I'm actually, gosh, where am I going to go? I think, let's head out this way. I think it's faster if we take the main road out of town. I'm going to cut away now, and I'm going to make my way back over to Ravenhill Cemetery and also the camp, Sven's camp, Sven Jorgen, because we definitely have that quest to turn into him that we did it last episode. I just never got around to running back to his camp and turning it in, so I will meet you guys over there. Alrighty, everybody, we are back here over with Sven Jorgen here at the Hushed Bank. Sven's camp we are turning in. You found what? Please, let me see. The book from Sven's farm. Sven reads the book's pages, then slams it shut. That shadowy figure I saw was a witness to my family's death. There are questions I'd like to ask that man. If only I knew who he was. I must know who was that skulker in the shadows I saw the night my family was killed. Please, Tylord 2, you have shown your resourcefulness. Please find that shadowy figure. So we need to go. We need to do some detective work, or we can just look on our mini map and it says the shadowy figure. We need to take the book you found at Sven's camp and show it around townsfolk in Darkshire. Okay, so it doesn't exactly spoil who the skulky, shadowy figure was, but I actually already know who it is because I've done this quest before. I've done this quest chain before, so it's always fun. So we have the book from Sven's farm. We could read it if I wanted to read it. The terror of these past few weeks. So somebody came to Sven's farm. This is a little backstory, and he was staying there. He was like a drifter, if you will, and he was staying at the farm for a couple days. Let's just read some of these passages. The terror. What? Yeah, who are you? Hello. Here's some intellect. The terror of these past few weeks is almost more than I can bear. Yet I feel that writing down. Oh, thank you. Thanks, pal. Yet I feel that by writing down that which I've seen, I will somehow be comforted, so I do it. And it is only the only comfort I have these bleak days. So we are here at Ravenhill Cemetery. My pet's he's just gonna ignore the laws of physics and run straight through a wrought iron fence. Alright, good job, pet. That's impressive. I'm not even mad. That's impressive. Yes, yes, yes. Before we start killing these mobs, actually, let's head on up to the Hermit and turn in. We actually still have another quest to turn in before we can start killing some mobs. And let me finish reading some of these passages so I can figure out who the shadowy figure was. Began with finding that cursed scythe in Roland's Doom, blah blah blah. After Scythe was freed, blah blah blah. I don't really think it tells us who it is, who the author of the book is. But once we go into town and we talk to townspeople, and he's like, "Oh, I know that man's writing. He's a very jittery figure. Emphasis on jittery."
Jittery. He's got the jitters.
Kind of like Jitters over in Ravenhill. Yeah, spoiler alert. That's who it is. So let's go ahead and deliver the thread to Abercrombie. I need to string the ghost hair thread along my door and windows to keep out unwanted spirits. Did you get it for me? Yes, I did. Delightful. This will do splendidly. Here, good Tylord. Take this as payment for your honorable deed. Oh, thanks. Zombie juice. Now he needs some zombie juice. We need to go talk to Tavern Keep Smiths and get some zombie juice. There's actually already someone here killing all these bone chewers, which we will eventually, I think that's a follow-up to the Night Watch. So let's actually do the Night Watch first before we come over here and kill all these mobs that we need to kill, because I think eventually, after we do the Night Watch, where we need to kill 15 skeletal fiends and 15 skeletal horrors. Not whores as in like whores, but horrors as in horrors. Like he's a horrible man. Not like, oh, that woman over there is a whore, you know? Do you understand the difference? It's kind of hard to glean the difference, but I think you guys can do it. So the follow-up to this Night Watch is also Night Watch, and we need to kill like 30 bone chewer mobs, and it's actually quite ridiculous if you think about it. 30 mobs is quite something. So I'm gonna be over here for a while, killing all of these skeletal mobs and what have you. And actually, I should mention off screen, you know, I was talking about this before when I was in Stormwind before I was starting recording this episode. Learning some new ranks to spells and what have you. I actually went to the auction house and bought a wand for very cheap. So I got this Thunderwood wand, and it actually has a random enchant of increasing my block chance by 1%, and then each block has a 20% chance to generate 5 range. Oh, when I block, dodge, or parry. So when either of those things occur, I can gain 5 range, which doesn't really, you know, help me all that much because I don't have any offensive abilities that use rage, like if I was some sort of warrior, but nonetheless, it was cheap, so I got it, and now I have a wand. So if I was ever low on mana, I need to finish off a mob real quick, like so. Bam! I can just wand him down to death because the DPS is pretty good. Most people don't really think about it, but the DPS on wands, usually, if you compare like a wand to a gun or bow, and it's like the same level. Item level, usually the wand will do more DPS. It's quite spectacular how much DPS a wand can actually do. But most people don't really think about that. Most people are like, oh, guns and bows. I mean, guns and bows. Oh my god, that looked like a giant spider. I mean, it is technically a giant spider, but I thought it was maybe like some sort of, you know, rare elite mob. But it wasn't. It was just my eyes deceiving me. So now my pet has leveled to 28, so my pet has ding-donged. So let's actually, after we kill this mob, he has gained another talent point, so we can go ahead and put that into his talent tree. We can go to pet talents here, and then I'm going to top off Cobra reflexes there. So now my pet's attack speed is 30% faster than it was without those talents, but his attacks deal a little bit less damage. But overall, I think the 30% attack speed is definitely better than not having it. Because it doesn't really affect mobs like NPC mobs that we have to kill, but against other players, the faster attack speed will interrupt spellcasting, you know, faster, if that makes sense. So that's why back in the old days, back in like vanilla or what have you, or whatever, like vanilla, even TVC, maybe even Wrath of the Lich King, there was one specific cat mob who had the fastest attack speed in the game. I think it was like 1.5 seconds. I don't know what my pet's attack speed is right now. I want to say it is 1.54. Okay, well, so that's pretty fast, but technically this is Wrath of the Lich King client, so by now all of the pet attack speeds have been normalized, but before there was one specific cat mob that you could train as a hunter, and its attack speed was like 1.5 seconds, and then I think it could go even lower than that, which is pretty ridiculous if you think about it. I'm gonna move my frost shot over just a smidgen, just one little tiny smidge over on my action bar there. So yeah, it really fucks with spellcasting when you have a super fast attack speed, because you're getting constantly interrupted, and it's the most annoying thing. But we have to deal with it as a spellcaster, you know. That's what we gotta deal with. That's the life of a caster of spells, a spellcaster, if you will. So I think I'm gonna cut away now. I still have quite a ways to go. Actually, I don't even really have quite a ways to go. I'm already halfway done with this quest. Look at that. I've already killed 8 fiends and 7 horrors. So we're officially halfway done with this quest. Bam! Now we're more than halfway done with this quest. Isn't that fun? How math works? Yes, it is. But I think I'm still gonna cut away just because, you know, I've already killed, you know, more than half of the mobs. You've already seen me. You've already seen what they're capable of, which is really not much. If anything, what I want to do right now is round them up. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna round up all these mobs, hopefully get aggro off of me. I don't think that will happen. But now I'm going to rain of fire them and see how much damage this is. Ooh! Ooh, baby! Oh, heck yeah. That's actually not very much damage. I was hoping it would be a little bit more. But let's just go ahead and do another rain of fire. And it should finish off the rest of these mobs. Oh, I was just terrified. Excuse me. I fear no man. Or skeleton man. Skeleton man. I fear no Jürgen Man Jensen Schmitty Wergen Man Jensen. He was number 1. Alrighty, everybody, we are back here at the Scarlet Raven Tavern. Let's go ahead and talk to the first NPC. We need to turn in the quest, Dusky Crab Cakes, excuse me, to Chef Growl. So we have these 6 gooey spider legs. We can turn that in, and he's going to give us a batch of quote-unquote crab cakes, when actually they're gooey spider leg cakes. That's pretty disgusting. I feel bad for this poor man named Jitters, who's going to be eating these gooey spider legs and thinking they're crab cakes when they are not at all crab cakes. So this is Tavern Keep Smits. We need to turn in the quest Zombie Juice to him and then pick up the following. So he wants 8. We need to gather 8 rot blossoms for him and bring him back to the Tavern Keep, and he can make the zombie juice for Abercrombie the Hermit out near Ravenhill Cemetery. So that's 2 quests done. We can turn in. We can also come over here and talk to Commander Althea Ebenlock and turn in the Night Watch. The people of Darkshire thank you, Tyler. You have proven yourself to be a great ally of the Night Watch. And with that, we ding, dang, dong, up to level 29. Boys and girls, we have gained 13 hit points, 23 mana, ability essence, a talent essence. You all know the drill. And also some stats, 3 stat points. We can go ahead and allocate those bad boys right now. And pick up the following. Like I mentioned earlier, the follow-up for killing 30 mobs, I thought was killing another 30 mobs, but it's actually 20. We only need to kill 20 plague spreaders, but that's going to be located back over at the Ravenhill Cemetery where we were earlier. Now off-screen, when I finished killing all of those skeletal fiends and horrors, I also killed some ghouls, some rotted ones, some flesh eaters, so I can collect. So I collected the 10 ghoul fangs needed to turn in this quest, the Totem of Infliction. So we have finished this quest completely. We've gathered all the necessary regions. So we can go ahead and turn them into Madame Eva here and pick up a nice chunk of experience. And also, she's going to give us Soulbound. It's a held and offhand item called the Totem of Infliction. It's a little skull on a stick is essentially what it is, and it's got some nice demon horns, which is pretty crazy. They give us plus 50 armor, and it's pretty useless. I mean, when struck in combat, it has a 1% chance of inflicting shadow damage to the attacker, but all in all, it's a pretty garbo item, and I'm probably just going to sell that back to a vendor. It's vendor trash. So this is the follow-up to the quest we completed earlier. We talked to Sven Jorgen. He gave us the book from Sven's farm that we actually looted last episode, and now we can go ahead and turn in the shadowy figure to Madame Eva. So Sven asked us to come back to Darkshire, ask around the inhabitants of town to find out who the figure was that is described in the book. So let's go ahead and turn this into Madame Eva. Someone handled this book recently, someone who is driven by revenge, but the impressions left on it, at least the impressions from the original owner, are faint. I can tell, however, that the original owner of this book is not a native of Darkshire. So see if other townsfolk have clues about the shadowy figure. So this is a fun quest. We have to play detective, kind of. We have to go around, talk to different NPCs in town, and we still have to figure out who the owner of the book was. So we know one thing for certain now is that the original owner of the book is not a native of Darkshire. So now the shadowy search continues. We're talking to Clerk Daltrey here in the town hall. Let's go ahead and talk to him. I remember well everyone to whom I sold a book within the last few months. Ah, yes, I sold this book a month ago to a shady person. He didn't tell me his name, but he was a nervous, jittery chap. Who do we know that's jittery? Maybe someone whose name is literally Jitters? I don't know. We still have to search the inn for clues, though, so let's go ahead and run back in here. The Scarlet Raven Tavern. I think we have to run upstairs in one of the bedrooms. Maybe not. I'm not. Am I in the right place? We have to search the inn for clues. Okay. So where's that at? Because I don't see nothing in here. It's just Gunder Thornbrush in here. So we need to search the room for clues. I don't see nothing. Here's your book, and good luck with your inquiries. You might want to expand your search to the inn. If a person whom you seek spent time... Oh, okay, we have to talk to the Tavern Keep. Duh, I didn't, I missed this a giant yellow floating question mark above his head. Okay, so this is Tavern Keep Smits. We've already talked to him earlier about the zombie juice, but let's go ahead and inquire about the inn. Oh yes, I remember that book. Its owner rented a room for a few days and spent his nights at the bar writing. He left town in a hurry, muttering about being haunted by something. Last I saw him, he was heading west out of town. So now we know three things about this shadowy figure. Here are the clues. He is not a native to Darkshire. He is a nervous, jittery person, and he left Darkshire and headed west. Well, that pretty much checks all the boxes of jitters who traveled west to Ravenhill, and he's now staying there alone. He's very nervous and jittery, and I guess he's not. I never knew he was not a native to Darkshire. I don't think that really matters, but we're using that as a clue. So let's. I'm going to cut away now. I'm going to head on out. I'm going to take this road here. It is quite the travel. It is quite the journey from Darkshire all the way to the other side of the map to Ravenhill. So it's going to take a while to get there. I'm going to cut away. I will meet you guys at Jitters. Alrighty, everybody, we are over here in Ravenhill. Let's go ahead and talk to Jitters. We actually have two quests to turn in. The first being return to Jitters with his dusky crab cakes, which are actually gooey spider legs baked into some nice, moist, soft cornbread. But we're calling them crab cakes, so I'm sorry, poor Jitters, but you're getting these nasty spider legs, and we're just pawning them off along as crab cakes for you. And then finally, the quest we're all so excited to find, the conclusion to finding the shadowy figure. Who are you? Leave me be. This is the book from Sven's Farm. Yes, I am the author of that book. You finally found me, eh? Well, if you read that journal, then you only know the half of it. The book you found was only half finished. I had to leave it at Sven's farm when I fled there. Here, take my completed journal to Sven. It describes more fully what happened at his farm. So we're taking the journal, and we are returning to Sven with it. And really, it's a very horrific and saddening tale of the absolute destruction of the rest of Sven's family. His wife, his daughters, they were all just murdered in cold blood by some Worgen, I believe, because somebody took Roland's scythe. I think it was Jitters, actually. I think Jitters stole some scythe of Roland that the Worgens use, I don't know, to harvest, I don't know, their power or something, to turn into Worgen. And then they tracked him down to Sven's farm because, like I was saying there earlier, he's a drifter, and he was just staying at Sven's farm. And the Worgen tracked him down there, and they killed everyone except Sven got away, and Jitters ran away like a little crybaby. He was actually hiding in like the barnyard or something, the barn house, and then he got the fuck out of town, but not before the Worgen ultimately, murdered and ruined Sven's life forever. So I mean, justly, Sven should go for revenge and, take Jitters out if he wanted to. If he felt so inclined, I could even do it for you, pal. If you want me to, go take him out, I could do that for you. I feel no remorse towards him, but I guess not. The follow-up, Mor'Ladim Fell is a necromancer and an ally to the Dark Riders. The Dark Riders being who came and ransacked his farm. I would pit you against the power of Mor'Ladim Fell, but I will not send you against that vile fiend without first knowing your strength. So we have to prove our worth to him. We have to kill 15 of these skeletal raiders that are just over the hill here, 3 skeletal healers, and 3 skeletal warders. So we have 2 quests, one to kill 20 mobs, the other to kill 21 mobs. So we're gonna be grinding some mobs down off screen. You might have noticed immediately I picked up 2 new abilities. Since I leveled to 29, I gained, 2 ability essences, enough to pick a new spell or ability, and I went with Retribution Aura. So now it causes 10 holy damage to any enemy that strikes a party or raid member. So that applies to me, it applies to my pet, and it's more important for my pet to have this than me, because let's run over here and start killing some of these mobs here, because it helps with aggro. It really helps with aggro. They attack my pet, and they get damaged, so the aggro, or the threat I should say, gets applied to my pet rather than myself. So that's why it's very useful to have that. And then I went with Blizzard over Rain of Fire. Don't ask me why. I felt like it was more appropriate to have Blizzard for some reason. I guess because I'm sort of like a Frost spellcaster. I wouldn't say Frost Mage, but I have like Frost Shock, I have Frost Bolt. I think it's more appropriate to have Blizzard, even though it might be the exact same spell. Like, there's really no difference other than Blizzard does cost a little bit more to cast. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, Blizzard is much more upgradable through Frost Mage talents than Rain of Fire is. Like, there's a talent... Excuse me, pet. Will you deal some damage, please? I don't know why you're still on defensive. You should be on passive. Hello? Who are you? This is my swamp. Get out of here. F off, mate. That might have actually been the person that buffed me earlier with... Maybe not. I don't know. Let's do that. Let's give her some intellect there. Someone earlier buffed me. I buffed them with intellect, and then they buffed me back with... Oh, was that Mor'Ladim? It is Mor'Ladim. I don't think we can take him on, so let's not even try, because we'll die very quickly. Somebody buffed me back with the Druid buff. Now I can't even think of it. Buff of the Wild or something? God, why can't I think of it? I don't know. That's odd. Now I have to go look it up because I feel like a complete moron. Mark of the Wild. I said Buff of the Wild. That is definitely not the right thing. Alright, so I'm going to be killing these mobs here for quite some time. Don't know how long it's going to be. My pet has a slow debuff applied to him, and that's very annoying. Eventually, I think like the next time my pet levels up by 4, so it'd be level 32, he's unlocked this next tier of talents, so we can actually go ahead and pick up Boar's Speed, which I will definitely get, and it's going to increase his movement speed by 30%, which is very, very handy to have. Makes him much faster running back and forth between all these mobs, taking them all out. So we are essentially done with all the skeletal healers. Now we just have to actually infiltrate this little mausoleum, as it was, and start killing more raiders. We need about 10 more raiders and some warders. We haven't killed any warders yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to cut away probably in a very short while and try and finish up this quest off screen. Excuse me. Let's see here. The Dawning Wood Catacombs. That's what I didn't know if it had a name or not. I just called it a mausoleum, just some nameless mausoleum. But it turns out that it does have a name. The Dawning Wood Catacombs. And there's actually, oh my god, there's so many mobs down here. Why? There's only one quest involved with this place, but it's like they just jam-pack. It's chock full of these mobs. Oh, you can't move 2 feet without aggroing 2 or 3 mobs. This is annoying. Okay. Well, I'm going to cut away. I'm going to finish this quest off screen, and then I'm going to head over and kill all those plague spreaders I was talking about before. There's another little mausoleum over there. It probably has another little name, but all we have to do is kill 20 plague spreaders, which is, you know, easier said than done, because it's more of a grind, really. It's not much of a challenge. It's just very grindy to have to kill all these mobs, and then they start respawning once you try to leave, and it's like you have to kill them all over again. You're already done with the quest, but you still have to kill mobs to actually leave the place if you don't want to die. So I will see you guys, I don't know, wherever I end up. Probably back at Sven to turn in this quest once I'm finished with it, so I will be right back. Alrighty, everybody, we're back here at the Hushed Bank with Sven Jorgen, so let's go ahead and turn in the quest Proving Your Worth. Your skill in combat, Tylord, cannot be doubted. Your resolve may yet see us through to the end of Morbid Fell. Seeking wisdom, go to the city of Stormwind and speak with Bishop Farthing of the Cathedral of Light. Give him Jitter's journal and tell him you mean to face Morbid Fell. Blah, blah, blah. He's going to give us some... I don't know, he's going to bless our weapon or something that will allow us to, in effect, debuff Morbid Fell so that he's much more easy to combat, I guess. We're actually, from Stormwind, we're actually going to have to go to, I think, Menethil Harbor, which is in the wetlands, and so we're not quite finished or close to finishing this quest chain yet. We have a couple more zones to go to. I'm probably not going to get to it by the end of this episode. However, I did pick up, when I was killing some mobs, I was farming some mobs for their rot blossoms, so now we are finished with this quest. The legend, no, not the Legend of Stalvin. Gather rot blossoms for Tavern Keep Smits. One of the mobs there dropped an old history book, which itself started a quest, so we need to return this to the Stormwind library, an old history book. So we need to return the history of Stormwind to the Stormwind library, and then someone there, one of the librarians, will give us a reward of a pretty hefty chunk of experience, and then 14 silver. So it's not bad. It's a pretty penny, all for returning a book that we found in the graveyard of Raven Hill. and then returning it to Stormwind. So we probably won't get around to that either this episode. I'm not going to make my way all the way back to Stormwind. And actually, we don't even have to go to wait, what do we have to go to Goldshear for? We have to go to Goldshear for one of the quests. No, pet, you stupid bear. Why would you do such a thing? The Legend of Stalvan. When did we pick this up? I feel like we did this episode at some point, and I just have never gone to the Lion's Pride Inn yet to see if anyone there has heard of the name Stalvan. So eventually we'll get around to doing that as well. Next episode probably. I saw Mor'Ladim, so I saw him padding around the area, patrolling around the Donningwood Catacombs, or Donningwood Catacombs, whatever the fuck that place was called. And but I didn't want to try and take him on. He's level 30 elite. I'm only 29. I'm pretty close to 30 myself, but it felt like it would probably be a little too difficult to try and take him on. He hits. He packs quite a punch with his hits, man. Let me tell you, he probably hits for about 200 or 300 per melee attack, and I only have about 800 health, so I'm dead. I'm dead in like 10 seconds. So that's why I got my bear pet to tank for me. So I'm gonna cut away real quick. I'm gonna run back to Darkshire, and I have one more quest to turn in there. We'll pick up the follow-up, which is gonna send us back to Abercrombie the Hermit. But I'll get around to doing that next episode, and we'll probably level up to 30 then, possibly 31. And yeah, I'll call it an episode, so I'll see you guys over there. Alrighty, everybody, we're back here at the Scarlet Raven Tavern. Let's go ahead and talk to Tavern Keep Smits here and give him his stacks of Rot Blossom that he will turn into some zombie juice for the old hermit Abercrombie. So let's go ahead and take this, accept this quest. Here's your zombie juice, and be careful with this stuff. It's strong enough to raise the dead. Oh, geez, if that isn't the strongest hint of foreshadowing, I don't know what is, because that is exactly what the hermit Abercrombie is going to do, unbeknownst to us. I mean, he just seems like a crazy old man cooped up in a shack that's living in a cemetery. But eventually we do come to find that he wants to try and raise his dead wife from her grave, and then we're going to have to take her on as well. But that's at the very end of the quest chain, so spoiler alerts for anyone who hasn't done this quest a million times, like I have, because I love coming here to Duskwood. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys maybe learned something new about some of these quests. We did level up once. We were pretty close to 2 times, which is usually what I try and aim for in an episode, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. So I do have one more talent essence that I need to go ahead and do some more research into what kind of build I want this to be, because right now I'm all over the place with this so-called spellcaster build. I've got Frostbolt, Immolate, Mind Flay, Mind Blast. I'm just all over the place. I don't know what I want it to be, so I need to flesh it out a little bit more, but that will be something I will do off screen. And next time you guys see me, I don't know, who knows, maybe I'll have a whole new slew of abilities, whole new slate of talents and abilities that kind of synchronize with each other better than what I have going on right now, because right now it's just like I just cast all these spells and hope the mobs die, but they aren't dying quick enough. I was watching this one dude, he had he was dual wielding, obviously, so a melee build, and I think it was like a cleave build, because he was taking on like 10 mobs at a time, and they went down like flies, which was pretty crazy. So I want something like that, but more spellcastery, because that's definitely I already did the melee build through my first run through, so this is run through number 2, and I'm trying to get that spellcaster build going on. So that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, until next time, I hope you all stay classy, and peace out.